This episode didn't just introduce us to the big bag Icicle, it also introduced us to a little more darker content. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Stargirl. I just finished watching it, and I gotta say, it was very surprising right there. I mean, I knew this episode was gonna focus on Icicle and learn about his character, and we did learn a pretty good number about him, but we also see how bad he is. Well, you could both say yes, he's bad, but also with the way he's doing things can make you kind of see that you feel a little sorry for him, only a little bit. But also what I love about this is that it just doesn't introduce how bad he is. It also did show that while Stargirl is introducing us to a more lighthearted, fun timer here for some kids to enjoy and stuff, they also aren't going to hesitate with showing a little more darker content. Like, we saw a little somewhat small, tiny, dark content when Stargirl met with Brainwave and stuff like that for episodes 1 and 2, but it wasn't really all that bad. And then this episode, it's not that bad either. It just delved down a little deeper when it actually didn't hesitate to have a character be destroyed. Not a character we know that well and stuff, but a character nonetheless who introduced to us pretty much in this episode and got to know a little about, but then he had to die, unfortunately. But they also made sure that when they did that, they put the camera away to a scene that would be appropriate for the brighter tone they're given here for this episode. And now that I've said all that, it's time to go ahead and go straight into our detail here with Icicle, man, because yeah, this guy definitely the big bad of this first season here, which by the way, with what I'm seeing, I'm already hoping there's going to be a season 2 for Stargirl because I like what we got here. The casting of the characters, the performance they give us, the messages they send out to us, love them all. But back on track here, guys. Talking about Icicle here, you do kind of feel for him a little bit when you're first introduced to him in this episode, because in this episode at the very beginning we are actually getting to see his background story with him and his son as they watch his wife die, and she turns out she died from, I guess, some sort of accidents that happened, because he does say earlier on when he's in a meeting in the place where Stargirl's mother Barbara works at, that he's trying to make the world safer for his kids so they don't have to suffer the same fate as his wife did. And he did mention how, like, she was exposed to toxins or something. So it's sounding like she got exposed to toxins by a factory that wasn't being responsible. At least that's what it's assuming, or was being responsible, and it was just an accident that happened and stuff. Although with the way he says things, it sounded like it wasn't an accident, or maybe it was. It's kind of hard to explain with how he's putting it, and especially with what he's doing out there. But all you need to know is his wife got exposed to toxic or something that made her very sick and ill, that in the end she died. But before dying, she did send a message out to her husband to do what he can to make the world safer for their son, and to destroy anyone who gets in the way. And when his wife died, yeah, it had a very traumatic effect on him. And I do mean a very traumatic effect. And speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead real quick and say, during those times when we saw the special effects as he was using his powers of his ice, and not just the scene when he let out a screech of trauma from the passing of his wife, but also when he fought Stargirl and Stripe, and at the end of the episode, I love the special effects they give on this guy. It is really awesome. But now, having said that, though, in the present, with knowing about his background, we know what he's doing in the present here. Everything he's doing is incorporated to what we were told about in last week's episode, that the Injustice Society, they're in Blue Valley trying to get things working for a project called New America, which is supposed to make things safer for their kids. However, what we are learning here is that Icicle is that guy who's doing the ends justify the means. And me, I can sometimes get behind people with that, but it just depends on the circumstances of what they are doing in that aspect. And by that I mean, like, this guy, he's willing to kill anyone or put innocent people in danger and stuff willingly to get rid of his enemies, or to murder somebody just because he feels it's for the best. Where I'm not behind that. I'm sometimes behind what Batman does. I'm not saying I'm fully behind it. I just know it's necessary. And I can see Batman's ends justify the means on that sort of sense to a certain degree. But this guy, Icicle Man, oh no, I cannot go along with that. I mean, actually killing one of his team members' sons, and this is going back to what I spoke about earlier about the dark content, because when he was taking on Stargirl and Stripe, he got sent over to a bridge where he willingly put a bus of kids in danger, and then willingly put his teammate, the magician, his son Jordan, in the line of fire. He would use his ice powers to make a truck go out of control that it ended up being a hit and run accident. Well, not a hit and run accident, but a car accident where it hit the magician's son. And yeah, as a matter of fact, I almost nearly forgot. Not only did he do that, he didn't just kill the magician's son. When the magician's son came, knowing that he was the cause of him losing his son, he went to him and was pretty much ready to fight him. But first asking to make sure if it was an accident, which it clearly wasn't. And he also didn't hesitate to kill him as well, his own team member, showing that everyone else is a means to an end, all just to protect his son. And speaking of his son, we also were introduced to him in this episode, not just when he was younger, but when he was older here. But I'll get to that here in a minute real quick. One more thing I gotta say about this Icicle Man is that him and William, aka the magician, yeah, they had their scene together earlier to show that not really the best of healthy partnerships or anything. Icicle is more of a guy to go with it and just push on through with it, whereas the magician, who was in charge of Blue Valley while he was gone, decides to do it in a more slow-paced way, like a long game sort of way, and keep it on the down low, as it were. That's what it seems like with him. And we also got to see that magician man and his son to show how much he cared about his son, showing that his family was more important than what the Injustice Society was doing, even though he was still going along with it. He was doing it to keep his family safe here. And I gotta wonder, now that both the magician and his son are gone thanks to Icicle, what's this gonna do to William, the magician's wife? Because she was devastated by this, because it was already shown in episode 2, just like it's shown us here in episode 3. They're setting up some family drama, and by that I'm talking about the fact how Pat met up with William the magician's wife in episode 2, and it looked like they could have something going on later on down the line in the future. Well, that's the same with Icicle Man, who unknowingly has caught an interest with Barbara. Mostly first off for when Barbara came up with an idea of making a theater in Blue Valley. The guy she posted ideas to earlier on in last week's episode was like, no, for most of the ideas she has, but Jordan likes this idea. And yeah, if Jordan likes this idea, this means he wants to use that theater for a cover-up for furthering his plans for New America, Project New America. So that's scary right there. But it's also seeming to show like there's also going to be some drama there with saying, looks like Jordan might take an interest in Barbara. And speaking of family drama, guys, why don't I go ahead and talk about how that's been setting up for us here and there. I already talked about Pat and Magician's wife, seeming like they might start something that might cause a little family drama on Pat and his family. Well, it's also the same with Jordan and Barbara, but not to mention the whole thing with Pat and Courtney still keeping these secrets here. Yeah, they're keeping the secret about them being superheroes and stuff, and yeah, for the protection of their family. But as we've seen, it's better you have told them this before you're married. But if this is all to work out in some family drama, I say let's just go with it. Let's go with it, because let's face it, this is a show. There's got to be a little drama here, so of course we're gonna have to do that. But it's because of their superhero duty that a family dinner they had planned got canceled out. And yeah, at first, Barbara was going to be all for that family dinner and even declined a meeting with Jordan to talk about that theater project. But after seeing that no one was there except Pat's son, she went to the meeting. So yeah, this is definitely setting up for some family drama of not looking like they're being there, caring for the family, this and that and this. So I'm definitely on board with that. That's going to be good. But now that I've talked about all that, we gotta talk about Courtney here, who's admitted that she's finally accepted who she is and believing she's Stargirl and everything. And yeah, still believing Starman's her father, which maybe he is, maybe he's not. We still don't know. But until then, I'm just gonna be going along with saying Starman being her father, just for now, until we get a better, clear confirmation of that. But still, while she has acknowledged that, being a teenager and stuff, she still has that issue like most teenagers, being a little hasty and thinking that this will be a piece of cake because we got something of a plan here, but you'll find out it didn't work out in the end, because that's what she found out when she at first got a message from Icicle about by making a whole field in a park shaped like a star to get Stargirl and Stripes to show up. And in the end, when she saw that Icicle killed that boy Jordan, it hurt her bad, because before he died, she actually got to know him a little when she helped him out with his whole magic trick and everything. And then when he died, it devastated Courtney and made her realize what Pat was trying to warn her about, and how these guys aren't your run-of-the-mill sort of bad guys. They're very dangerous. And yeah, she acknowledges that in the end, but she still wants to be the hero and continue on with it. And I have props and agree with her on that, because that's the superhero life, and some people, they choose this life, and this girl has made up her mind. She chose that life. So Pat, you can try all you can to want to stop her, but ain't no use in it, man. That's not gonna happen at all. But I am also glad with this episode they gave us a little more time to show us of her in the school, and some of the stuff that goes on in school for kids their age and teenagers of 15, 16 and all that. All the high school normal stuff, as she not only was helping Jordan, but she also met up with Icicle's son Cameron, and it looks like there might be a sign of those two having an interest in each other. Will that probably in the end maybe affect how Cameron will see his father once he learns of who he is? Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see. And it's also establishing Courtney and her rivalry with the Queen Bean girl. What's her name? Cindy? Yeah, Cindy. Because all this time she's been picking on this one girl who is going to be Wildcat in next week's episode. After she painted that girl's locker room saying it slut, Cameron covered it up into beautiful artwork, as we were shown later on. But yeah, this is clear that, yeah, first off, Cindy, yeah, she's going to be on the bad guy side too, have a costume and everything, and it's clear she's going to be Courtney's arch enemy later on down the line. But we're also seeing here how Courtney can't stand people bullying, but Yolanda, aka soon to be Wildcat, just doesn't want to stand up for herself. So maybe coming up in this next week's episode, we'll be seeing her do that, and I definitely can't wait for it. But now that I've said all that, there's just one more thing I gotta mention here, and that is the Justice Society of America. After their battle with Icicle, Pat took Courtney to the Justice Society's headquarters, where we got to see all the displays and a picture of all known members of the Justice Society. Dr. Fate, Flash, Johnny Thunder, Green Lantern, and then Dr.Midnite, Hourman, and all the others who will soon be here. And I gotta say, it was great to look at that, all those homages of all of them. And we actually got to see that owl that belonged to Midnight. And I can't wait to see what that owl does when we get this new Dr. Midnight, who we already know who that is. It's that, I forget the girl's name, but it's that black girl with the glasses who's not afraid to show who she is. And I definitely can't wait for that. But either case, Pat took her there to make her understand why it's so dangerous and why they aren't going to continue being Stargirl and Stripes until he says so. But he was hoping that would actually make her understand. And while it did, at the same time, as I said, it makes her know better and more than ever that they have to continue this. Which is true. You gotta continue this. So what she do? She goes behind his back, get all the mementos and stuff of the previous Justice Society, and now she and that cosmic staff are going to look for some crewmates. So that's it on that episode, and I gotta say, what an episode, guys. I could not believe it. It was a really awesome episode, a really great way to introduce Icicle. I don't know what else more to say. But I'm going to just go ahead, guys, leave it all at that. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!